Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. Today, let us go into the topic of Sun in the 8th house. I have been teaching planets in various houses, and this is a series where I have started with Sun. So, the 8th house represents qualities of desire, achieving desire, the parental property, which is very important, the litigations and court and all other legal matters also come in the 8th house, and unnecessarily getting into problems like allegations, inquiries, all these things come in the 8th house. And when Sun is placed in the 8th house, on a general factor, it is a bad combination. It is not such a great combination. Usually, when Sun is well placed in the 8th house, we tell that the person will have good longevity. But what is the longevity if the person is to suffer in so many other sectors of life? I'll just tell you one by one what actually might he go through, and where actually it might be sometimes positive. Sometimes in the place of research and in the place of profession, person will get very good status and excellent career growth. But once again, with all this career growth, somewhere in middle of the career, there is a chance that the person might suddenly lose the status, or because of some allegation. It might be true or false, that is a different issue. Whether the allegation has happened or not is what we are talking about. So, Sun represents the scalp, and when Sun sits in the 8th house, the person goes through a Pitta Sharira problem, that is the bile juice, which actually becomes very active, and it actually troubles the native by giving him boils on the head, blood boils on the head. That is, they keep scratching and you get all those very ugly pus sort of boils. So this is not a great sign. When Sun is in the 8th house, these things happen when either he is going through the Sun Dasha or the Sun Sabdasha. So bad digestive system, as you know, the boils on the head come because the Pitta Sharira, that is the body is going through the bilious kind of a situation. So ulcers, gastric troubles and piles are the ones which are actually lined up when Sun is in the 8th house. We need to be ready for this. So if you people have Sun in the 8th house, better drink good amount of water, do good walking, do not unnecessarily eat outside food or fine flour, which is not good for digestion. So eat good fiber, chew your food nicely. These are all very important suggestions because Sun in the 8th house gives bad digestive habit. So the habit of digestion is not that good. So it is also 12th from the 9th. The 9th house is known to be the father or the predecessors, father, grandfather, and forefathers. So when it is placed in the 8th house, that becomes the 12th. That means it becomes the Vyayasthana, house of loss. So either there will be some distance between the native and his father, or there might be some misunderstanding. This all depends on various other planetary positions. So I'm just giving you a first tendency of what actually might happen. So there might be dissatisfaction in the family because of property, some dispute, court cases and legal battles can happen. So if a weak Sun is posited, then in its dasha bhukti or in its transit over the 8th house, if Saturn is transiting over Sun, I'll come into transits later on because it's a very huge topic, big topic. So the person might go through allegations, humiliation and such problems, either in his company or outside, also in his family or in the society. So if it is strong, then the life will be long. As I told you, the longevity will be strong. But still, these people are prone to vehicle accidents, to fire burns. So these, either problems through weapons or problems through steel or iron, falling on an edge of a railing. something like that. Nowadays, it doesn't mean that Ayudha means always somebody will come and actually, assault you. Nothing like that. So you might trip and fall over on some, let us say, a railing or some sharp edge, and or you are cutting something and you cut your finger a little bit in depth. So you'll have to go and have stitches. These small things, because this is a fast moving planet, there is a chance that fast moving events will happen. That is, it happens and it gets cured also very fast. But it not always, sometimes when sun gives you very tough accident, then people will have to go through broken bones, fractures, and the whole thing will have to get repaired. It will take a lot of time, and maybe it will not be fully back into the normalcy. So that is also one very important thing. So sick and weak constitution is also one of the factors of when sun is in the 8th house. Bones become weak, porosity of the bones happen, what is known as osteoporosis. And also the 8th house represents the progeny, that is the organs, sorry, not the progeny, but the organs which are actually related to producing egg, that is the ovary, and also the testicles. So all these secretive organs which are actually hidden, these all fall in the 8th house. And when sun is in the 8th house, inflammation happens here. So when inflammation happens, that means there will be difficulty in maintaining the fertility. So there will be difficulty in fertility, and because of the infertility, some other problems also might happen, like childlessness or delay in childbirth, many things like that. But because the 8th is the fourth from the 5th house, that is, if the 5th house is Putra Sthana or Santana Sthana, from there if I count 5, 6, 7, 8, so 4 houses, so it is Putra Sukha Sthana. So Surya, that is sun in Putra Sukha Sthana, might give again another, a slight variation of Ekaputra Yoga, that is one child probability yoga. So eye complaints, because sun actually represents the organ eye, and the complaints of the organ itself, not the sight. The complaint of the organ eye will happen, and in turn the sight might get once again affected. So one thing one should understand, that 8th house sun gives a lot of trouble, but suddenly people might get gains, like sudden gains. And most of the times I have seen this one thing, I have tried to verify this thing as to whether what sort of sudden gains a person might get. Usually I have seen that because of death of parents, or death of great grandparents or grandparents, the property will get distributed, and the native will get a huge chunk of property, which is a super duper gain for him, which he would not have expected so soon in life. So it is something like something bad happens, but you end up actually making a good sizable amount out of it. The bad thing is that you have lost some family member, but the good thing is that the family member has taken care of you people, and he has left a legacy for you people to enjoy. So thank you very much for today's class. I hope I have given you some key points on sun in the 8th house. These classes are useful for people who actually feel that they can study this in depth and become astrologers. So test each and every thumb rule what I have been giving. I have given around 9 thumb rules today, 9 to 10. So test these thumb rules, put it across the charts, take a spread of around 20 charts at least, put it there, test it in each chart and see why it has happened, why it has not happened. And then you will understand the other planetary positions which are actually either supporting or again against it. So some cases it would have happened totally, some cases it would have started to happen, but it did not happen fully. So you need to test it. So people who are studying astrology, I am purely teaching astrology here, and this is nothing to do with any glamorous teaching. I am not for it. So please make note of these things and study well. Thank you very much.